What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's righteous, world? Happy Monday. It's your boy, Sony Wright, and this is Write Your Own History TV. Before I go any further, I want to first thank the Most High for giving us this moment in time to showcase our greatness. With that being said, we have a great show for you tonight. We got the talented Cindy Rain in the building, musician, vocal coach, artist, music teacher. She's the Jackie of all trades. So please pull up. We're gonna have a great dialogue, see what she's been up to this last year, see what she got coming up, talk about her journey. Also, do remember, this is a positive platform, no negativity allowed. I definitely encourage those to comment emojis, questions, and all of that, but just keep it positive. It's a positive platform. This is the platform for the people, by the people, highlighting those blazing their own trail, blazing their own trail, writing their name in the cement and writing their own history. So pull up, have a drink, your water, whatever it is you do, enjoy yourself, get your popcorn. We can have a good show tonight. Please share the video, share the live, please share the live. I'm about to send you an invite, Cindy. Share the live video. We're gonna have a great show tonight. Once again, shout out to my man Hash for the survival dad hat, and of course t-shirt provided by the Sony Wright brand. Write Your Own History. Let's get it popping. Let's get it right. Let me send Cindy it. Remember, this is the positive platform. I just sent the invite to you, Cindy. You should get it. There you go. Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I want to first say I appreciate you. Thank you for taking out the time of your day to pull up to the platform and talk about your journey. It's been a long time. I ain't seen you since the basketball game, and I was like 8 years ago. It seemed like, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I just want to introduce you the right way. Again, this is Write Your Own History TV. We have the lovely, talented, Brooklyn-born Cindy Rain in the building. If you don't know, vocal coach, musician, singer, music teacher. She is the Jackie of all trades. She does a lot, and also while being a mom. So we're gonna chop it up with her, see about her journey, talk about what it's like being a mom, and also balancing the music life with a music teacher. We're gonna talk about the music school you got going on, and and how people can get involved in that. So I just want to, again, thank you and give you your flowers while we're here and while we can do it. So salute to you. I'm also going to be letting my people that's in the chat. Anytime I highlight something or I give you some props, we're doing fire emojis. That's the thing. So every time I just say fire emojis for you, that's like us. That's like me giving you claps or whatever. That's like if I had a band, they would do bam. That's my band right there. So that's just me just showing you love and giving you your flowers. I believe I always thought you was talented, you was dope, so I figured I reached out because I'm like, you know what, she has a story, she has and what you've been doing with your son Amir and all of that. I thought it was dope, because you didn't let that stop you. You didn't let being a mom and all that. You continue to being talented, singing and doing your videos. So I'm gonna ask like one or two questions, but I'm gonna let you do you because right now we in the big couch. You at one side, I'm at one side. The viewers in the comments, they on the side of the couch with their drinks, and we just vibing. So, everybody, give it up for Cindy Rain. Give me no fire emojis, man. Show some love for Cindy Rain in the building, man. Cause y'all don't know, y'all about to get familiar. This girl is talented. Y'all don't know. I need fire emojis in the comments or whatever. So, again, I just want to get your highlight what you got going on. Fire emojis, hearts, whatever it is, show her love. I do my I try to do my best research and highlight the people that I interview, so let them know I'm not just getting you on live on camera just to talk shit. Excuse my language. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. So for those who know, Cindy Rain, multi-genre musician, the owner of Cindy's Music School, soon to be Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. We'll talk about that and how that even came about. She's done theater roles. She's been a vocal director, director of several church choirs, 4 years as a high school music teacher. In 2018, she released an EP called The Mask. I don't know if people heard when I posted the reel. I had The Mask. That was one of the songs from her EP. It was the self-titled EP, The Mask. Also, we're gonna talk about that. And what I really want to talk about, I thought was dope when you went viral. like 2022 with your son Amir for the cover, the Aaliyah somebody Are You Somebody cover song, which was amazing because I watched it and he was doing all he was doing what babies do. Just and it was like that moment. I don't want to get too crazy before we get to, but it's like God was just like, all right, I'm gonna let you do your thing, and then he gonna do his haikus and spit ups at the right time. So it was crazy, but again. I could talk all day. I'm gonna let you do you. Let the people know. How'd you get into the whole music school? Matter of fact, what was your passion for music growing up? What even got you into music and to being the talented and all around musician that you are today?
So some of my earliest memories are of me just singing around the house. Um,
Hmm.
and then I remember when I was I was like 8 years old at the church choir, hearing the senior choir singing harmony. And I was like, I have to learn how to do that. Someone teach me how to do that. And I remember I was like 8 years old. And I remember having this thought, like listening to a Mariah Carey song and thinking, like, I could write that. Like, never written a song before. But I knew that I was a musician at like 7, 8 years old.
Uh-huh.
Started taking piano lessons when I was 12.
Mm.
And like in high school, I was in 5 choirs at once. I was the gospel choir director at Brooklyn Tech. We had what was it? A student led musical called
Mm.
Sing, competition between the classes, and I was usually the vocal director for my class. So like from a very young age, I was always into music. As soon as I could get into any sort of leadership position with music, like I grabbed those, started doing musical theater, just everything I could get my hands on.
Yeah, I
And
see.
and then I think it was middle school.
Mhm.
Like, kids are mean. So kids were mean. And, I had low self-esteem. And the one thing that kind of like made me feel good about myself was the dance teacher.
Mm.
We had a dance show every year, and she would invite students to perform, even if they weren't dancing, like if they wanted to sing something, just come up and show their talent. And
Uh-huh.
I auditioned in 8th grade, and I sang Everything by Mary J. Blige. And like the
Wow.
whole crowd was cheering for me, and I was like, oh, kids like me
They like
now.
me.
And I think I want to
I'm-
be famous when I grow up. And my personal email address was Grammy bound at
But
AOL.
you
And I was
you
like,
started
oh, I got a
manifest
Grammy
you started
winning.
manifesting it early. You was
Yeah,
manifesting it early.
that was really what I was trying to do. But yeah, it has always been a part of me. It's always been what I wanted to do. And before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for having me on your platform to say hello.
No, no. It's no to me. I don't want to get into my preaching mode, but it's not me. It's God. This platform was created for people like you, me, and those that don't have the revolt outlet. So we are at Hot 97. If it was a radio show, we'd be on the radio. Like whatever platform I would have had, I would have made it a way where I can highlight people that I know have been working and been progressing and still focus on their talent without someone filming them every day or just what I mean, you actually been whether you no one had to tell you or get a camera and say, yo, Cindy, yo, you was doing it regardless of who was watching or whatever. So I just thought it was a calling for me to just highlight people like yourself and those doing the same thing you're doing. Exactly, writing your own history. That's what you're doing every day. So it's no sweat off my back, no extra work. I like seeing people I know or even interact with or encounter win because it makes me feel good. It doesn't hurt me to support you or say you dope. It doesn't. I just genuinely like that. Anyone knows me knows that about me. So no problem. I think it's long overdue. I should have had you on a while ago, but God, the universe has its way of doing things. So that's not a sweat. That's nothing. So I appreciate it. Um, I want to ask you, how was it being like getting into the difference between like the theater, the musical and the theater, being the R&B, and how do you is there a separation? Or is there a line that you like a thin line with that as far as how you create things and the thought process?
So with musical theater, like you were given a script. They're like, this is the role, this is what you do, and you are very much in a box. Like you have some wiggle room, but it's pretty much laid out for you. And then, you know, creating R&B music, it's like I have a blank canvas that I get to paint with. I get to, you know, tell my story, and um, I get to tell my story directly instead of
Without parameters. Well, how did you even get into theater music? I mean, was it? I know you was in music. It was up, but what made you choose theater? Did it come to you? Was it you felt it was a route you had to take it to get to your ultimate goal?
so when I was, I'm gonna say about 16 years old, that's when I was, I had a manager
Okay.
who was around basement studios all around Brooklyn trying to give me a record deal. He would write the songs. They weren't very good. I hope he's they were terrible. But he would write me these songs and have me in basement studios, and he was trying to use having me sing on his tracks to get his writing deal. So, you know, he's trying to get the writing deal, trying to get me a record deal. That's how we were working. So he sent a couple of these songs to his connections in the industry, because, you know, everyone got industry connections.
Yeah, everybody got it.
And the feedback that I got at around age 16 was like, she has a pretty voice, but like there's not enough emotion in it. So she should go to musical theater so she could go learn how to sing with emotion. So next time they had auditions for the school musical, I was in there. Like, whatever I gotta do, let's learn how to sing with emotion. And I think I did. No, I did junior year and senior year the musical, and I got lead roles both times, which is fun. And then when I moved down to North Carolina, after graduating from undergrad, I had my first like paid professional musical theater down there doing. I played Charlene in a musical called Ain't Misbehaving, a jazz musical out in Stanford, North Carolina.
Wow, that's what's up. Fire emojis for that. Fire emojis for that. If you're in the building, man, I gotta salute. That's what's up. Fire emojis, man. That's what's up. Well, I think someone might have a question for you. It's you with the baby. Is he sleep? Oh, it's you with the baby. Is he sleep? Oh, so. Thank you. He loves you. He said you love. He's so talented.
Oh, thank you. The baby is in Arizona with his dad this week. So that means I get to sleep. I get to be on this live without a kid crawling up my head.
Get some freedom. I ain't gonna front. A small partner was like, if I hear that kid, I'm definitely getting them on. I said, if I hear any signs of a kid, I'm gonna please throw them on. Please throw the coaster on.
Oh, it's kind of late. He would be in bed.
Oh, yeah, it is late. Before we go on, I have a question from Tanisha. She said, can you tell us your favorite song to play right now?
So these days, I have been back in my classical bag. So I've been working on a piece called Reverie by Debussy. I'm not finished with it yet, but that's what I've been working on playing these days.
Wow, classical. That's interesting. You know what? It's funny because the last interview, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I had a bucket drummer on. Oh. And he said he learned different sounds by listening to classical music. You know what I'm saying? And it brought me back to when I was in Kingsborough. I had a classical music class, and I hated it because of the time it was. But when I actually was in there, the music it had you listen on a different, a kind of different air. You have to be open. Like, hold on. I started understanding different sounds and placement. Like, oh, swear, how the heck you realize how talented these classical musicians were without even singing, just telling a story through instruments. So I think it's dope that you play classical music. And what to you, what is the separation from R&B and classical as far, because you play the piano, and how does that? Okay, so I'm so mad at myself because 3 more questions came into my head as I'm asking you this question. 3 more pops in my head, and sometimes I derive and get crazy, but I'm gonna finish your breakfast, just as far as classical and R&B and being more free, is there a difference as far as concepts and the keys. I mean, because I only asked that. I'm not saying like I know what's the difference between classical and R&B, but as far as the makeup and the conception, sometimes the foundations of both these things become a kind of similar and not much difference in the end result. So, do you go through a kind of a different thought process when you're doing classical and when you're doing R&B?
So music theory is music theory as far as like Western music is concerned. So like the foundation of it all is the same. But when, especially in the past, when classical music was being created, the canvas is so much bigger. Like you can have a piece that's like 15 minutes long and you can make twists and turns to get there, different key changes, different moods. With the average R&B song, you're going to get one mood. It's going to be 3 minutes. Like you're going to have 3 or 4 chords over and over and over again. And it's using the lyrics to take you on a journey instead of just using the music itself. I mean, the music itself will take you on a journey, but with classical, there's just so much more room, more space to explore.
I like that. When you say, I think of being in a minivan. You're not the driver, but you're in it. But you're in it for the ride. And the R&B is like you actually have to drive a little bit. Like, where's your license? So I see where you're going with that. That makes sense. That's dope. Again, to me, as an artist, classical music, I think every artist, no matter what it is, should have some kind of knowledge of all genres of music, and they should definitely tap into classical because it's just like you said, the journey is so different, and it makes you understand a little on a different level as far as musically. So that's dope. Tanisha has another question also. I like Tanisha. No, Tanisha, you can ask a million questions. I don't care what this is about. Interaction. She said, what's one instrument you always wanted to learn but haven't tried it yet?
Honestly, I have no interest in anything other than piano and voice. So when I was in my first master's program for music education, there's a class where you have to take a bunch of different instruments. So it's like a couple of weeks on clarinet, flute, trombone, trumpet, and snare drum.
Okay.
And I was terrible at all of them. And it was the first time ever that I felt stupid in a class. I was like, why is everyone else? They all get it and I don't get it. See, piano is very like straightforward. Everything is mapped out very clearly, very easily. All these other instruments, they don't make no sense. I was like, what is this? So just leave me at my piano. I'm very happy with my piano. I don't need nothing.
He said, I'm not gonna even play. I know what I'm good at. Keep me here. Before I get to MSD Sports as a question, I want to ask you, let me ask this question first. He asks, who are your R&B influences? And I'm gonna add on to why.
Okay. So I grew up listening to a lot. Okay, let's go early childhood. Whitney and Mariah, because everyone wanted to be Whitney and Mariah.
I want to be Whitney.
And then a little older, it was Lauryn Hill. Her voice.
Yeah, Lauryn was definitely
and her message.
Different.
Like her, I found her music to be very inspiring. That Miseducation album came out. Jill Scott, just because she's an amazing storyteller.
Yes.
I've seen her live multiple times, and she is
blessings to you.
Storytelling.
I ain't gonna front. I'm still rocking her first that Living Life like a Golden album. That was that. In the Park Revelations, Park Determination. That's the she. You boy, that Jill Scott. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then in high school, I listened to a lot of Alicia Keys because piano. She played piano. I played piano. Yeah, so I'd say those are probably my biggest R&B influences.
Okay, those are some great ones. Those are definitely great ones to be influenced by. How long were you playing the piano?
I started when I was 12. I'm about to be 4.
Yeah, just a long time. You're right. You're a long time. You got
a long time. So what's that? 38 years this year. Whew.
I know it's crazy right there, but like, I'm about to be. Yeah, I've been doing this for a minute, y'all. I've been doing this for a minute. Now, I know you've been a music teacher. Did you teach? Did you just teach? Did you teach the piano and vocals, or which part of how what realm were you as a teacher?
So I started teaching private voice and piano lessons when I was in undergrad. And then a few years after that, I taught high school chorus for 4 years in Wilmington, North Carolina,
Wow.
at New Hanover High School.
Shout out to New Hanover High School.
Grow up.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I did that for 4 years. And then when I moved back to New York in 2013, I went back to teaching private voice and piano lessons.
Now, how has that helped you as far as a artist? You know, just teaching kids and because I'm pretty sure you learned some stuff about yourself as you were teaching. So how have you grown and matured as an artist during those years of teaching?
That's such a good question. I love this interview. Thank you for
Thank you.
that
Thank you.
question. I appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I
So,
appreciate it.
one of the things that I struggled with as an artist is really accepting my voice. Because,
Mm,
there are different voice types. There are lighter voice singers, there are like singers with bigger voices. And I was trying to be Mariah and Whitney when that's not really my voice type.
mm,
And
mm,
like I was just doing too much, trying too hard, pushing too hard. And like I'd taken voice lessons for years and I knew that I wasn't supposed to do that, but just on a subconscious level, like something just kept saying, no, like it's not enough. Like you have to be more, you have to try harder.
mm.
And it wasn't until I saw it in my students that I was like, oh, I always like have this thing with my students where I'm like, you don't have to scream everything. Like you can just sing. And a lot of times singers will get into our mode where we're like, now it's time to sing. And it's like, no, we don't need all that, especially not at the beginning of a song. Like
Yeah.
there's room to ramp up, like there's room to grow, there's room to like have nuance.
Okay.
And again, like watching my students just like try really hard and do the most, I was like, oh, it actually doesn't sound better when you're trying too hard. It actually sounds better. You just chill out a little bit. So yeah, that was one lesson that I learned from teaching my students. I'm trying to think of other things that I've learned from teaching.
I think that's why you thinking. I think that's that you even were able to teach students to vocal coaching. I think that's because we don't when I was in school, we didn't see a lot of melanated or black music teachers that was teaching and vocals and willing to actually give their time and help someone else elevate in their choice, whether it's vocals or piano or whatever it is. So that's the fire emojis for that, man. We doing fire emojis for that, man. We giving you all the props we can in this mall.
Thank
Fire
you.
emoji for that, man. Because like I said, you're part of the solution. And think about nowadays, it's not they don't really do music in school like they used to. And when I was in school, you had music class. That was a mandatory class, music, art, and recreation. Now they don't have it like they used to. So for you to to be able to do that, I think is dope. Whether it's North Carolina and then being the fact that you're doing it in Brooklyn, which is a great segue to talk about Cindy's music school. You know what I'm saying, and how that came about, and what does it mean to even have that, like your own music school, which is going to be Brooklyn's Performing Arts Academy, which to me is going to be huge on a grand scale for what you're trying to do and whatever your goal is. Even for your kid, that's legacy stuff right there. So, what did that first? How did it's like a 2.5 part question, if that makes sense. I'm strange. 2.5 part question. How how did how did how did the Cindy Musical come about? What did it mean when you actually solidified it, and what is your goal for like what what I mean, like because sometimes we might get something like I don't it might be we might be too big, and can I handle all of this stuff? Like this is a whole school. So how did it come about? How did it feel, and what do you see for it in the future?
All right. So,
Yeah, I'm sorry that was too
no,
much.
great. I love it. So I started teaching in undergrad. Like neighborhood parents would call up the school and just be like, "Hey, can you teach my kid how to play piano?" They would call the professors, and the professor's like, "We don't have time for that. Cindy, you take them." So that's how I started teaching, and it turns out I was pretty good at it. And I even continued to teach privately even while I had the job in the school system.
Mhm.
When I moved back to New York, I was like, well, I want to be famous, but I got to feed myself, so
Uh-huh.
teach these lessons. And at this time, like when I first moved back to New York, I was living with my parents, and they had a basement that they were renting, and there was one winter where, are you familiar with a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron?
No, I'm not, but I am now. I'm gonna make sure I tap into that.
It's a book about like tapping into your creativity. So I was reading it, and one of the exercises that it suggests is called the morning pages, and it's like 3 pages of stream of consciousness journaling every morning. So I was doing the morning pages around a time where like my parents, the tenant in the basement had just left, and it was right around Christmas, and my parents were like, "Oh, where are we gonna, get the money for tenant?"
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, journaling. I had just woken up from a dream, and the thought on my mind after I woke up from the dream was expansion.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just journaling on the topic of expansion, and by the time these 3 pages were over, I had a whole business plan for how I was going to rent out the basement from my parents, and I was going to buy some keyboards and start teaching group lessons and turn it into a music school. And I finished, and I was like, that's it. That's a really good plan.
I should do that.
So that's what I did, and I started my LLC, Cindy Rain Enterprises. Got my parents said yes to the idea. They let me rent out the basement, and that's how I started what I called Cindy's Music School at the time. So that was 2015. And since then, I have moved out of my parents' home, and I'm in my new space, and I've been teaching here since 2018. I've been here, and this theme of expansion came up again at the end of last year, because I reached my limit. Like when you are a solopreneur and you are the only person teaching, and I'm trading time for money, and I'm like, okay, now I got this kid, I need some more money. How can I expand in a way that doesn't require me to be burnt out? Because there are only so many hours I can teach. So I was like, what can I do? Maybe I can have some teachers teach under me. They're not teaching in my living room, so that means I got to rent some space. So I did a search and found a space like 10 minutes from my apartment where I could rent out rooms to a teacher. Around the same time, I get a resume in my email from a teacher who's like moving to Brooklyn from Seattle, and he's like, "Hey, are you hiring?" And I'm like, "I wasn't before, but I think I am now." And this teacher teaches guitar, ukulele, trumpet, saxophone, flute, clarinet. Like he teaches a bunch of instruments. I'm like, yeah.
That is amazing.
So I put down the deposit on the lease, got my keys, ran this teacher's background check, went through the interview process, and now what's tricky is like whenever you're dealing with expansion, before the expansion comes a contraction. So everything in December was like, yay, all systems go, and then January was like crash. The whole thing went to shit. I'm like, what are we doing? But like the delays in the process have caused me to kind of like slow down and think about the brand. Because I was like, I've got this space. I've got to pay rent for the space, which means I need to find students quickly. What can I do to get as many students as possible? And what I thought was like, my students, they come from Google searches. So the biggest investment I can make, or the most valuable investment I can make
Mhm.
is in SEO. And I thought about the last person that I spoke to about SEO, and they were like, you need to change the name of your music school because no one is searching for Cindy. You need a location-based name. So I was like, I don't know. Oh, no. Everything Brooklyn based is taken. You got Brooklyn Music Academy, like you like
Yeah, the band, we got the
Brooklyn
band joint.
Conservatory of Music. You like
Uh-huh.
it's all taken. I'm just gonna leave it alone. But when I started thinking about SEO and paying for SEO, I was like, you know what? I should probably listen to these people because like, if you're gonna hire the expert, you need to do what the
Listen,
expert said.
exactly.
So I went back looking again, and I was like, Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. That's not taken.
Mm.
It's mine now.
Look
So
at that. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
yeah. I'm like, that is an excellent name. And just even saying it, like going from saying, hi, I'm Cindy, I'm the owner of Cindy's Music School, to saying, hello, I'm Cindy, I'm the owner of Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. I'm like, ooh, it gives me the tingles.
I know it. I know it gave me chills. Like, yo, hold on, I got my. And isn't it crazy how it came from? Look at, and I love about you the story because it went from a story of, hold up, my parents lost something. How we gonna do this to you? Let me put this. Let me start writing something. Let me just see what I could do to manifest in a whole nother entity, a whole nother business from the place where you could have gave up. Like, oh, you know what? Oh, what we gonna do? We could stress, and it's like I had to say that's the definition of writing your own history, creating your own path, and just but having belief. If that's not the definition of belief, I don't know what is. Because you didn't think about this with the performing arts in mind. I gotta do something. I want to do something. I got the space and you started by writing it down and believing it, and you saw something you didn't know what you saw. You just saw something that I'm talented with this. I know how to do something. So freaking dope. Fire emojis for that, man. That's freaking dope. Fire emojis for that. Salute to that. Like, go ahead. Continue with the story. I'm sorry. I had to just make that point. Continue with the story. Go ahead.
I think that's it for the story. That's where we are right
Oh,
now.
okay.
I've got the name.
Okay.
I'm working on the brand right now. I am literally figuring this out as we speak.
That is dope. I want to thank everybody for commenting because I see some people commenting like they're gonna buy their kids pianos now. They're gonna you know what I mean. So please make sure you follow Cindy Rain. It's not over. I'm just want to make sure follow Cindy Rain. Look up the Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. You meet in person. If you got any questions about it, talk to me. Comment whatever. We could link you guys up. You want to teach your kids something. You want to. It's what she does. You heard what it's what she does, man. That's what she got teachers. She doing background checks, so it ain't no just rinky dinky music school. She does background checks. So and come with some money because she gotta pay bills. She ain't charging you $2,000, but she got to feed the kids too, man. She gotta feed the kids. And someone just said shout out to Strange Mind Doc Hart. He said you would be an awesome speaker for Women's Week. I agree to that. So
I would love to come to Women's
let's
Week.
see how we can make that happen. Stranger, if you have any connects with Strange Mind Dark Heart, if you have any connections or no one that can link or who she can talk to, who can talk to, reach out to her, please link it up, send it to the comments, a DM, I'll get it to her, or just follow her and reach and connect with her directly. This is what this platform is about. I want everybody to increase the network and help people that help someone that they might not thought would get help. We don't know who's in this group. We all can help each other in some way. So that's what this is about. So he said he got you. So look out for a Strange Mind Dark Heart. He might DM me and I'll DM people. However it's gonna go, you'll have some information. So again, fire emojis for that, man. That's it. Fire emojis for Cindy. Oh, also Cindy, you know what? I want to shout out to Young and Informed Media. These are young kids that they have a dope platform. I think you'll be great on their platform as well. I'm gonna make the connection because there's two young kids. They have they're very articulate, educated young brothers, and they are the future. So I'm gonna make that connection with that.
Thank you.
Now from there, you are a musician yourself. You're not just a teacher. You're not just teaching choirs and do vocal and playing instruments. You're actually a musician yourself. And in 2018, I want to talk about the EP, The Mask. Why'd you name it The Mask? I kind of have an idea, but I want to hear from you. See if I'm on the kind of the same page as you. Why'd you name it The Mask, and what was the thought process behind the project?
All right. So I had written these songs, and my business coach at the time, we were working on my brand. So one branding exercise that you do is you ask people to describe you in 3 words. And I put it out there to my audience, and the words that I kept getting were like bubbly and happy and sunshine and rainbows. And I was like, I have this collection of like really dark songs about heartbreak and pain. But all people see when they see me is sunshine and butterflies. And I was like, there's a disconnect. I am fake. Like, I must be fake because like who I am on the inside and what I'm projecting is not in alignment. So it caused me to think of one of my favorite poems by Paul Laurence Dunbar called We Wear the Mask.
Okay.
And it goes, we wear the mask that grins and lies, and there's more of that. But yeah, it's just about like how we pretend to protect ourselves.
This is true.
And that became the title song. Yeah, I wrote a whole song about that.
Yeah, I know. I heard it. I said, oh, no, I'm gonna promote that with that. It's a subtitle and it's called The Mask. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Like you said, we do wear masks all the time, and for whatever reason, deep. I want to cut myself off. Deep love. Of course, you can say something. Put in the comments. I'll say it. This is about. You can always say something. But we to piggyback what you were saying about we're always pretending for whatever reason, and I think sometimes it sucks because. Well, as I'm saying this, I'm reading his comment too. Oh, well, it's a good comment, Deeper Love. His comment was, I don't believe it's pretending. I think we are beings of love and light, happiness and joy. I like that comment, actually.
I agree. He said we go through things, but it isn't fake to shine through the darkness. I think part of where I wanted to challenge myself was to allow myself to show all of it, because I wasn't showing all of it. It was just sunshine and rainbows. And it's like, yes, I am bubbly. Like just listening to my speaking voice right now, it's very high. But there's more. There's a lot more than that. There's a lot more depth to that. Or there's a lot more depth other than that. So I wanted to challenge myself to like be all of who I am and not just show you the sliver of happiness, because I'm someone who has struggled with depression and no one would know because you get this.
You get that. And again, to piggyback on the pretending, it wasn't you pretending. It's like that's not I'm not ready to show that part of me yet. I'm not. Like, was it? This is a statement and a question. Was it that? Because I know sometimes, like, to be honest, before I understood depression, because of how I was raised, not that my mother was just go. Like, so I never saw her dealing with anything. It was just like, well, I ain't got time for that. I gotta feed you, kid. You and your brother gotta work. You know what I'm saying? So as I got older, I started to understand, oh, sweat, depression, and especially in the Black community, depression is like, depression. Get up and get your life going. We ain't got time to be depressed around here. We gotta eat, depressed. So as I got older, I was like, oh, sweat, depression is nothing, you can't see it. You can't see depression. You could be smiling every day and go home and be the most depressed person and not understanding even why you're depressed. So to piggyback what you're saying, I don't think it's not really pretending. It's more like I'm not ready to expose that part of me, or do I even understand that part of me, so that I can let it be shown in the proper light. What was it kind of like that for you, as far as showing your the other side, the darker half of you?
It wasn't an intentional holding back of it.
Okay.
It's what you said, where it's like I didn't know who I was to be able to share with people who I was. I knew what was acceptable, and I was giving people what was acceptable. If I show up and don't like me anymore, you know? So I was kind of like, it was like a people pleaser kind of thing, which is why I say it was fake.
Ah, we are like my man Puzzle said, we are complex, and that's the goal in what you said. People we like to people please. I think even in an unconscious way, because it's like we don't want nobody to just think negative of us or be rubbed the wrong way in a certain way, and we don't like to hear. To be honest, sometimes we don't like to hear the truth about ourselves, or we don't want to put it out there so we can hear the truth about ourselves. So it's like I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that hidden. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that you I think it's a growth thing that you were able to even express that musically. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, like I said, challenging yourself. Sometimes it's not easy as an artist because it's like, am I ready for the feedback that I might, it might not be the feedback that I expected. It might be totally different, and am I ready for that? Because I'm putting myself out there. Now I'm putting myself out there, and in your case, to combat she's bubbly and we and ooh, oh yeah, it's like, hold up, she's dark. I didn't even know. Hold on, I don't know who this person is. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like we gotta build up a wall in ourselves before we even put ourselves out there to that level. So, like Deepa Love said, that strength and that fire emojis for that, man. That's what we're doing. Fire emojis for that right now, man. That's strength. Fire for everybody that dealt with that. Fire emojis for yourself and for Cindy, man. That's what we're talking about right now. Um, Stranger Mind, Dark Heart, he sent both of us the registration link for the Women's Week. So salute to that. Salute to that. Um, Now that's the mask. Now let's bring it fast forward. You become a mom and everything, and life happens. You whatever. But not only you become a mom, you start playing the piano with the little one. You start doing cover songs with the little one. Before we talk about the viral moment, what made you even incorporate the little one in going and playing the piano and doing the live? What made you? Because I ask that because a lot of us, especially with the young kids, we don't like showing our kids at a young age sometime on the camera into the world because of it, the world we live in is crazy. So you know what I mean. So what made you do that? And was that because I when I looked at it, I was like, this like it looked soothing. It looked like it was something soothing to you and to the kid, your child. Like it was something like, where he's crying or he's doing. You know what? Maybe this. Oh wait, he's quiet. Let me kick this piano. To hold up. Oh, this might be something. So, what was even the start of that, and what made you put him in the light as well as yourself with the piano?
This baby has been in my videos since I was pregnant. Like, I was big.
Oh, yo, you know what? You're right because you were dancing with him. You definitely was doing your thing when you were. You're right.
I my first few videos that started getting some traction of me on piano this round, because I have little seasons where I show up and leave and show up and leave. There was a piano cover of a Jay-Z, I want to say it was Dead Presidents, that did pretty good on TikTok, and the I Am Mad at You. It's the cover of
What's that?
the
Tupac?
yeah,
I'm
but
not.
it's a cover. I don't remember. Like, my brain is just not.
It's all right. We're parents. Our brains are scrambled.
Yes. No one warned me that thoughts would just disappear. But anyway, yeah. So I did a bunch of covers while I was pregnant, and people seem to gravitate towards that. It's just like, oh, it's a musician and she's pregnant. She's playing the piano and she's pregnant. That's so cool. Can't wait to see that baby. So he was already, he was a part of the brand while I was pregnant.
Before he even knew.
Exactly. He already knew. And I noticed that while I was pregnant, when I was teaching, especially voice lessons, like male voices, baritone voices, or like really good piano students, he would just be like hopping around and kicking and moving inside of me. I was like, yeah, this kid must like music. Now, why did I start including him in content? I honestly don't remember. I remember the first cover that I did with him. I did Moonlight Sonata. I had him in the Carrier,
Hell
and
yeah.
yeah, I really just want to play piano, and I'm sleep deprived because that's what
It's
motherhood is
paramount.
in the first trimester. I want to create content. I want to create music. I want to bond with the baby. Let's just put it all together. I just turned the camera
Mm.
on, and people seem to really love that video. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do some more of this. And then it just became more and more fun. Like I just started
Mm.
trying genres and dressing him up as rappers and we're like, okay, this is working for us. He's cute. The music is good. Let's just keep going, see what happens.
I think it's beautiful that because he's so for a baby, he's not all over the place. He's really in. It's almost like he understands the music from, 'cause again, from being in the belly and hearing. He's just so calm and just like so soothing to him. So I thought that was incredible that you was even doing that. And then you went. See, it's so crazy because this is gonna lead me to something else. Because not only did you go viral, you became a brand ambassador for brands with the piano. Like so, this is it. Not only has been big for you, it's been big as far as your business and what you've been able to do as far as your music, without even actually being a doing artist stuff. As far, you're not out there doing shows. You're not out there. You know what I'm saying? So I brought that to light because it's like anybody watching, don't stop doing what you do. You never know how your blessing is gonna come. You never know how your blessing. It went from the parents losing some tenants to getting a spot. Now it's Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. Now you're a brand ambassador for certain brands, and it all became it just all came full circle from what could have been. Go ahead, do your thing.
And while you're mentioning like you never know where it's going to come from, I was highly resistant to motherhood for a very long time. I was like, I'm trying to be famous, and if I have a baby, then that's gonna like cramp my style, and I'm not gonna be able to give my full attention to my music, and I'm gonna be resentful of this kid, so I don't want to have a baby.
Mm. Go he do
And
it?
it's very ironic because for years I was just like, I don't got no followers. I'm making all this music. Ain't nobody watching. It took the baby to give me a viral video that actually brought my audience.
You know what's funny? That's why they say God is a comedian. Cause he's sitting back like you don't even know he's the gift. You don't even know if you just get over it resistance. Stop resisting. I'm giving you the gift, but when you're ready, and look how you becoming famous with the one thing you were resistance against. I mean, if you don't believe, I mean, like again, I'm not against any atheists or whatever, but boy, I don't know if you don't believe it, boy, this is proving the pudding right here. Fire emojis for that, man. I'm fire emojis for that because won't he do it? Yes, he will. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Beautiful thing. Wow, that's what. The Bronx is beautiful. I appreciate you for sending a request, but we're doing a live one-on-one interview. If you have a question, you can please put it in the comment, and I will get to the question. I apologize because this is kind of a one-on-one thing. Thank you for the fire emoji and thank you for tuning in. But I messed up my question. I'm all over the place. Oh yeah, what? How did that even come about as far as the brand being the brand ambassador? 'Cause I know, but I don't know because I'm assuming they saw you doing your thing and they reached out and there was a conversation. And how did that come about and how did it grow? Where as far as you got other products, other brands just telling you products, you know what I'm saying? And how did that make you feel as far as like my music is really going places? It may not be on the radio, but brands are reaching out and paying me to promote this stuff. So just talk about that for a little bit.
So, with the viral video, I was wearing an Ergo Baby Carrier,
Mm-hmm.
and they recognized their carrier in
Right.
the viral video. So they reached out and they first they just offered to send me some products. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, hey, you have a brand ambassador program that I could join? And they were like, we were just getting ready to ask you about that. And I was like, perfect. So then they just kept sending me products, and they paid me to create videos using their products. Yeah, and their products are very high quality and
Yes, they
very
are. Very
expensive. So
expensive.
I was
Yes.
very happy to get the free controller and the free
Some
hot
free
stand,
stuff.
you know, all and bouncer and all the things. Hundreds of dollars worth, probably close to $1,000 worth of free product
Wow.
for my kid, and paying me to make like these 15-second videos, which is fun.
That is amazing. That is, you just, people keep pushing. You never. I don't understand. Y'all understand what the story? She was. It happened after she overcame the resistance. I just gotta get that out because people sometimes we you know, we have obstacles and we always think about the negative. Oh, I can't do this. Why this happened? Why this? Why that? Not knowing once we face that, on the other side of that is success and life. And oh, sweat, I didn't know this. So I'm so happy that you got over that resistance. Not only for you, for Amir, and just for your brand as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy, and for us as listeners. I mean, like you're a great musician. You can sing, you know, do all that. So I salute to you. And someone in the comments said they love what you do. They just realized who you were. My man El Val from Illinois. He said he loves what you're doing and keep doing your thing. So salute to him. Fire emojis for that. Please give your fire emojis. That's how we doing salutes today. Fire emojis. So the video went viral. You're a brand ambassador for a bunch of different brands. How after all of that, are you working on more music as far as EPs, or are you just gonna stick with the getting let these brands send you that money and keep sending you products?
So, oh, there's a lot of questions, a lot to talk about. So one of the things that I realized with this whole brand ambassador thing is that there are different tiers of this. So there is the, you know, people sending you free products in exchange for content, and then there are the people paying you. And what I realized is that, you know, there were a lot of people who were like, hey, here's this free thing that you can have. And at first I was like, yes, I get to practice, you know, but after a while,
But
it's
I need that coin.
money.
Uh-huh.
This free vitamin is not going to pay my bills. So that's why y'all haven't seen a whole lot more of these brand deal things. And Amir has aged out of Ergo Baby, so there are no current brand partnerships.
Okay.
And then what was the other question you asked? You asked about new music.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, this is a lot floating around here. 2020. No, let's go back further. So let me tell you about what happened after I released my EP. So when I was working on my EP, I was being coached by whoever, and they were like, okay, here's the secret. You figure out your style, you create the kind of music you want to create, and then you put it out there and you let the market figure it out. Like the people who were supposed to find it are going to find it. And what happened was I put it out there and nothing happened. And I was like, oh, okay. I just spent a lot of money on this thing and put a lot of, you know, my heart and soul, and you know, I tried to make some things happen for myself. I booked some shows out in Switzerland, and I was like, okay, I'm about to, you know, make things happen and go on tour, and nothing happened the way I wanted it to happen. And I was very burnt out. I had invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit my ass down because this ROI, it's not ROI.
It ain't ROI.
I can't. So 2019, I just sat my ass down. And before I did that, on the Switzerland tour, there was a drummer who, you know, had toured with lots of different people. And I asked him, I was like, hey, what do I do to get my music out? And he was like, okay, here's what you do. You need to have your music on the radio. So I'm going to send you to my my radio promoter, and he's going to help you get your music on the radio. He's a jazz guy, but you know, you could just ask him for advice. So I reached out to this radio promoter and I was like, hey, what do you think of my music? And he was like, I love your music, but it's not jazz. Can't do nothing for you. Sorry. So I was like, well, what do you think it is? Maybe adult contemporary? Can you point me in the direction of the adult contemporary radio promoter? So he did that. I sent him my music. So what do you think of my music? And he's like, it's great. I love it. It's not adult contemporary. They're never going to play this on WBLS. Sorry, can't help you. But he said, listening to your music, having experience in the industry for several years, you are a jazz artist. You are champagne and roses and long dresses. You are not doing what the kids are doing. Your money is to be made in the jazz industry. And I was like, this I want to be a jazz artist. I want to be an R&B artist. I was trying to be the next one since I was 13. Like, I'm not going back to school to learn how to do jazz, and I'm not going to fake it, because jazz audiences are intelligent. They're not. You can't scoobity bop your way to saying I'm a jazz singer. No one's going to have it. Yeah, so I was like, the only way I can realistically see myself pivoting and doing jazz is if I go back to school and study it, and I'm not doing it. I'm too old. So that was 2020, right? No, that was 2019. So beginning of 2020, this is before the pandemic, I was like, well, you know, it's a new year. Maybe I could just like take a couple of jazz voice lessons and, you know, just see what happens and just see how I like it. So I called up Lenora Hammonds at North Carolina Central University, where I did undergrad. I had taken a couple of jazz classes with her while I was there. And I was like, hey, I think I just want to take a few lessons and just explore. And at my first lesson, I remember she gave me a Sarah Vaughan solo to transcribe. And she was like, I don't expect you to have this done next week. It's probably going to take you a few months. Our jazz majors, they do this for their end of semester juries every year. So you have, like, take your time and learn it. But I really want you to learn this. I came back the following week with the whole thing learned. And she was like,
mind blown.
You're kind of good at this. You should go to grad school for jazz. And I was like, I can't get in. Like, my undergrad degree is in classical voice and piano. It's very much on the page. It's there. You read it. It's done. Mm-hmm. Jazz is very improvisatory. Like, you kind of make it up as you go along, but there's also like this structure to it. It's really, really hard. And by the end of the year, this woman had me auditioning for jazz programs. Wow. And the following spring 2021, I was accepted into Queens College's jazz voice program.
Wow.
So I started that program, and then I got knocked up that fall. So I had to take a sabbatical from the program. So what's next for me musically? I do want to complete that program. I'm thinking 2025. I'm going back to school and I'm going to learn some more jazz. And then maybe the next iteration of Cindy Rain's music will be jazz music. Who knows? I got to finish the program first. What? But along the same line, this jazz thing, another interesting thing that came up was that I started doing lives on TikTok. And I started like doing covers. So I did just R&B covers from my past, and I'd have like 50 views. And then I would do a jazz standard, and it would go up to like 250. And I'm like, oh, people have spoken. You. Y'all want to hear
the people have spoken.
Okay.
The universe is saying jazz. Do not deviate from the jazz.
Speaking of the universe saying, so I had a dream around this time. And I really believe that the universe, God speaks to me in dreams and symbolism and all that. And I had a dream that I was in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the highway. And I'm just sitting here like, why aren't we moving? And then like this road opened up, like service lane. And it was like up on a hill. And I just took the service lane and just bypassed all the traffic and reached my destination. And I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that dream was about my music career. if I am
Metaphor.
in the R&B regular lane,
Mm-hmm.
everybody and their mama who trying to be an R&B star, then there's nothing special about me. There's nothing that stands out. I'm just another person that can sing. But if I'm doing jazz, which everyone can't do and everyone won't do, then it's that much more interesting, and it has given me more visibility. And jazz is really fun. Like I love the challenge of it. I call jazz musical calculus. It's
And it's very relaxing. It's very soothing. I used to listen to jazz. 101.9 was a jazz station. I don't know if it's still a jazz station now, but back in the day, I used to listen to that at night to go to sleep, and it was very, very soothing. And you can't be going against the universe, Cindy. The universe saying no R&B. We need you in the jazz world. You can't be going against the
and
universe, man.
you know how we were talking earlier about my voice type and how my voice type is lighter, and I was trying to like do the most. Jazz allows me to just chill vocally. And it's funny because like when I'm doing my TikTok lives and random people are showing up, they're like, "Oh my gosh, your voice is so effortless," and I'm like, "That's what we're going for." That's sustainable. That's a lot more sustainable than me trying to be something that I'm not.
That is beautiful. Ooh, an hour goes by fast when you're having a good. See, I told you when you're on the big couch. When you on the big couch, you know what I mean. It goes fast. I'm gonna give you this time to let people know what your music school, anything you want them to know about you. I'm gonna give you the floor, let you do you. Let me just make sure we don't have any questions. No, it's about no, I'm gonna shout out to everybody in the live, but Cindy, this is your time to promote what you want to promote, do your shout outs, whatever it is you want people to find you. The floor is yours.
So I am on all the platforms at Cindy Rain. Right now, the music school is still Cindy's Music School. So if you Google Cindy's Music School.com, that's where you can find me. But within the next month or two, it will be Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. So look out for that. And of course, once that launches, I will post that on all my socials. Right now, it's funny because there is no social media for Cindy's Music School, but there will be social media for Brooklyn Performing Arts Academy. So
Beautiful.
be on the lookout for that. If you'd like to hear the EP that I put out, it's called The Mask, and that's on all the platforms. Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, Cindy, it was a pleasure. I definitely want to do this again. Next time you have, I'm watching, so I figured out. I see what's going on. I know when the time is right. I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope the music school is going to be great. I know because how it came about. Continue to do your thing. Have faith. Continue to believe. People, if you're watching, if you heard the story, remember, man, keep doing what you do. Don't let obstacles stop you. Every obstacle is an opportunity, and Cindy turned the obstacle she had from that tenant in that space into an opportunity to build a brand. So it's always remember, life is about balance. There's no dark without light. So, Cindy, I appreciate you. Continue to write your own history, blaze your own trail, and create your own thing, man. Yeah, man. So, thank you. Do your thing, man. And you know my motto: write your own history, or someone will write it for you. Oh, hold up. Someone just had a comment. Deeper Love said, "Mix your R&B with jazz." That
That's a great idea.
might, yeah, you might be onto something right there. Again, everybody, you want to hit up with Cindy Rain at Cindy Rain. I put it in the comments. It's also on the title of this live. I will also put it out later on. Also, Cindy, this will be on YouTube probably by tomorrow. I will also send you the clips of the live. I'll send the YouTube link, and I will also send you the Spotify link for the audio. Okay?
Awesome.
It
Thank
was
you so much
great.
for having me. This
Not,
was so much
not a
fun.
problem. Not, I appreciate you. I'm glad. Next time we're gonna do it, so we can get a man. We're gonna get the real star up on here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get the real star here.
This is past Amira's bedtime. So if you
Yeah,
want
we're
Amir,
gonna we're gonna do no, we're gonna do it early. We're gonna do a special one for him. A special a special early session just to have him to give him his flowers too. Cause he might be too big for us to get later down the line. We can't get in contact with him there. So I want to make sure I get in contact with him now. While he's on this level right before he blow up out the sky. So I want to make sure I get him up there too.
He's a whole model. He's modeling for Walmart. He's modeling for
See,
right? Like he's already a star.
see, this is gonna be crazy. We're gonna do a special edition, and I'm gonna link you up with the Young and Informed Media because that's another dope entity, and they would love to have you and the man on too. So,
Okay.
again, have a great night. I thank you. Thank you for everybody that was involved in the live that commented. Please link up with Cindy, link up with her, find out about her music school, and see how you can help out, how you can get involved, how you can sign up, whatever it is. Y'all have a good night. And know my motto, write your own history or son write it for you. Cindy, you have a great night. I enjoyed it.
Dude, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Yes, I'm done. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all have a good night. Thanks to everybody for pulling up. It was a great show. Salute to y'all. Y'all know my motto, man. Y'all know my saying, write your own history or son write it for you. There's no such thing as an impossible thought. If you could think it, you can manifest it, you can bring it to life. Y'all have a good night. Don't just be active, be productive. You know what it is. It's only stay righteous.